is Wasiu Adisa. This is my first video log. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I feel nervous because I'm worried people are gonna judge me. Oh, he said it's big, it looks black. They're not gonna, I'm African, so not a lot of people will say it's dark. It's so black. He's got trouble marks. Right. I work at an hotel. That's what I do for a living. I work as the operations manager at a guest house in Lagos. So I have a lot of free time on my hands. So thinking about that, I've always loved computers or programming, in fact. But well, I never got around to studying computer science. I mean, in Nigeria, if you are not, if you didn't attend during high school, if you didn't attend, if you're not a science student, or if you were in commercial class, if you were in commercial class or art class, you wouldn't be able to apply for admission to study computer science. So even though I loved computers, I couldn't study computer science because I wouldn't have had physics, physics, chemistry, and other subjects like that that are relevant for science students to be able to study computer science. So, but I studied business administration at Lagos State University, and it was enjoyable. The course is, but I still love computing. So, which was what drove me into, which was what pushed me into learning core programming. Now, before then, I followed, successful programmers like Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, Larry Page. I took interest in their lives and spent a lot of time finding out how they started, which was very inspiring. But I still couldn't do it. I mean, I'm not going to say all Africans don't have opportunities like them. I know some Africans do, but most Africans don't have the opportunities people like them had. And I'm not making an excuse for everyone. I'm just considering my situation, and I believe I'm not alone in that regard. So, but after a while, so from there on, Facebook launched, and then I joined Facebook in 2008. I think. Was it 2008? No. I joined Facebook, I think, 2006 or 7. So I started using Facebook then. I think it's 2008. Yes, 2008. So since then, I was a big time Facebooker. I did Facebook a lot. I spent so much time. I was hooked to it. But over time, I read an article somewhere about making money online, and the article mentioned, well, that the more people use Facebook, the more money Facebook makes off them. So the article now threw a question at the reader, like something to keep the mind busy, even after you something to ponder after you're done reading the article. It said, if you are on Facebook regularly, you're not using it for business, you're just using it to connect with people, and Facebook is making money off you. The thing is, I can't remember where I read the article. It said the question now was what exactly are you wasting time? Then you're wasting your time. What exactly are you doing with your time? Because frankly, you're wasting your time. So since then, I started thinking, so how's Facebook making money? I mean, if you consider all the ads you see on Facebook, and this isn't about Facebook alone. This goes out to all the social media networks, TikTok, Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter. Oh, sorry, it's now X. whatever. Um, uh, so you know the rest of them out there. So they all have an ad program, or where advertisers, they display ads for advertisers, at an agreed fee, of course. So the more people use their platform, that means the volume of users grows. Consequently, the more that means the larger the viewers they can promise the advertisers that they can promise advertisers the more volume, the larger the volume of people that will see their ads. So there's a tendency their ad will they will get more click throughs, and well, the dynamics of the ad, how much they pay, well, it's different, and it's unique probably to most of them, but that's not what I'm going into. But the thing is, they make money off us. I mean, apart from using Facebook to stay in touch with people, friends, family, and distant and long lost friends, I truly we should be making money from these networks. There could be some out there where the more you use it, uh, the more commission you earn. But then I didn't think about something like that. The only thing on my mind was, so I've been using Facebook close to a year. I'm not making money. My Zuckerberg is making so much money. I'm not getting any dime. So I started thinking, right, if that's the case, why don't I have a social network of mine? I know a lot of programmers thought about that, and a lot of people started programming began learning programming, thinking like that. So, well, I thought about, I actually did set out to have my own social media. The graphics was horrible. The coding was pure spaghetti base. So, but it did. But that was how my love for programming started, because I became fascinated by how I could like just type some text, some gibberish, and then the browser renders it and it shows something. I can see an image, I can see a form. You can scroll up, you can scroll down, and you can see the footer. You can click a link, it loads a page, and I can see a form, I can fill a form, I can register, and I can authenticate. This is amazing. I felt really proud. I felt really proud of myself. For someone who hasn't built something like that before, it's one of those proud moments where you feel like a demigod. So that was how my love for programming started. And over time, I completely forgot about building my own social media platform. But I just wanted to build stuff. I know a lot of programmers might have outgrown that, but some people still love just building apps and are just contented. And some seasoned programmers would say they're stagnant, they're not growing, but that's what they have a passion for. It makes them happy. Well, it's fine with me. So then I started learning. So I started with HTML, CSS. I think I learned HTML. It took me about 3 months to learn HTML, and then CSS took me. Well, I'm still learning CSS. I don't think anyone can possibly know CSS forever. I'm still learning CSS. So after CSS, I could have moved on to learn JavaScript, but I had a friend then who had been learning programming for over a year. He and I met. He lived in my neighborhood. Chris Ezeani, right? So I asked him if he had more knowledge than me then. He was much younger than me, but he was a really cool guy. So I asked him if I should learn JavaScript or PHP, because I was working then and I didn't have a laptop. I had a desktop. No, I didn't even have a desktop then. No, back then I didn't have a desktop. I wrote my code on paper. Yes, a notebook and a pen and ink. I wrote my code in ink. I didn't have a desktop. That was how I started. So I would write my code and check it against the book I downloaded and see if the code should work. And I'm sure I wouldn't be able to debug, but I just assumed at least I was on the path of. I understood what I was doing then. So when I bought a desktop, and I eventually saved up, it took me months to save up for a desktop. And then when I did, and I started testing the codes I had written, that I realized none of my codes ran. They were filled with errors. But so over the next few weeks, I began to debug every one of those scripts, and they eventually worked out fine. So you will find my first portal, the one I built, the first portal I built after I had understood PHP, understood HTML, CSS, and learned HTML, CSS, and PHP. It's called Geniverse. If you check my GitHub page, you'll find it there. It should be the first Git repo you'll find on my GitHub page. So you'll find the link down there in the description, and you'll find the link to the Geniverse repo down in the description. Right. So after that, I moved on to. So I asked, like I said, I asked a friend of mine if I should learn JavaScript or PHP. Then he said, well, I can build apps even without JavaScript. Well, back then it was really easy, and I'm sure it's doable even now. He recommended I learn PHP, so I can learn JavaScript as I needed it and integrate it in parts of the page, or parts of the pages, or parts of pages or the application itself. So I moved on to. So he gave me a copy of his book, which he learned PHP from. He didn't finish the book. The book covered I'm trying to remember the book. Yes. Novice. Okay. Yes. If I remember the book, I'll put the description of the book down in. I think it's HTML, CSS, JavaScript, PHP. No, but I do remember it's Novice to Ninja. So if I do see the book, I can tell it's the same one. I remember the cover. So I'm sure some of you would have known the book I'm talking about. So he gave me a copy of his, a hard copy. So I read that. He didn't finish it, neither did I. But before he did give me his copy, because he was still reading it then, I'd gone online to find out about PHP. I read about it, downloaded another book. I downloaded another book on my desktop computer. So, and the power supply in Nigeria then was epileptic. It wasn't regular, so I would excuse me. I would read it when there's electricity and when the lights out. Well, that will be probably the next day or sometime in the middle of the night. And if I get maybe if I can put in 30 minutes to an hour to study, it's fine. Otherwise, I may not have time to study again until weekend when I'm not working and I'm home. So I learned PHP instead of JavaScript, and maybe if I had decided to learn JavaScript then, I may not be struggling with JavaScript now. But I'm glad but I have no regrets really, because after I learned my PHP, I progressed immediately to my SQL, and then I remember, yes, the book I downloaded to learn PHP and my SQL together was beginning PHP 6. I'm sure it's beginning PHP 6. It's a book published by Rox. So that's WROX, Rox. So you'll find the book title and the copy to the book's official page down in the description as well. So that's the book I read. I downloaded to learn PHP and MySQL, and it was that book that really made me understand how dynamic an application could get, and the kind of capabilities you can integrate into an application, and the thought processes required, the thought processes you might explore when you are trying to build an application. And that was the only book I read to build a dynamic app. And the first dynamic app I built was the first dynamic app is Genibus, like I mentioned earlier. So you'll find the repo there. If you go through the code, you will realize there's no object-oriented programming adopted in writing the code. I was just writing what's it called? My code. Well, I was just writing. Out code as a beginner, but it was insightful. It was, and I felt proud, regardless. So after that, let's see. After that, so after that, I was still working, because the thing with programming is you can't possibly start learning unless you are dependent on other people for sustenance and upkeep. If you are an adult, you need to work. You need a source of livelihood. I mean, to pay the bills, have money to acquire learning resources. I mean, premium learning resources. Get a laptop, service your laptop, get a camera, get a smartphone. So you need a lot of tools to get up and running, and you're going to need money to get there. So you will need a job. So yes, I was still working as I was learning, and it was a really grueling endeavor, but it was satisfying nonetheless. I really am proud I did. No, I have not launched any app like Facebook or anything even like a tenth or a millionth of its size or value, but I'm building an app, I'm building stuff. I consider my time doing all of that constructive, and as far as I'm concerned, it is. So not everything is about money. I derive joy in what I'm doing, in coding. So that's good enough for me. After all, it's not what I'm doing to earn a living in the first place. So it's something I spend my pastime, my leisure to do. So that's good enough for me. Right. So this is my first video log that I'll be uploaded to my channel. I have 3 channels: self-taught via freeCodeCamp, self-taught via IBM, and my personal channel, Wasiu Adisa. That's WASIU, and then Adisa, ADISA. You'll find links to those channels in the description, so you can visit my other YouTube channels. Right, I'm gonna stop here. You might have noticed this video was created spontaneously, so I didn't have a script to go through, because one of the things that held me back from starting my YouTube channel from way back, and I'm talking about as far back as 2010, is that no 2000 and 2015 is that I was shy. I'm camera shy, which I believe every YouTube creator is. I'm camera shy, and I'm self-conscious, and I'm an introvert. So just jumble all of that up, and you should give me credit that I'm doing this. It's my first time. It's my first day doing it, and I hope to see you in other video logs. So thank you for watching, and before I go, I'm gonna create a list of the videos I'll be discussing. Create a list of the topics I'll be discussing, and I'm gonna try and do a better video log next time. So yes, so thank you for watching. My name is Wasiu Adisa, and I hope to see you on my channels, and I hope you subscribe.